Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We begin tonight with breaking news as Fargo City leaders are currently talking about the possibility of making people wear face masks in the city.
The policy calls for anyone in public to cover their nose and face with a mask or cloth covering when they're unable to maintain social distance. You're looking at a live shot of City Hall where people on both sides of the issue have been talking. We're awaiting a decision and we'll pass it along as soon as we get it. Also look for reaction tonight on Valley News Live at 10.
In what could be the first of many changes to come this school year, high school and middle school students in Fargo will shift to distance learning. The change begins October 5th and will last 2 weeks until October 19th.
Elementary students will continue with the current hybrid instruction model for the time being. The district's move is based on principles outlined in its Smart Restart plan, thresholds set by the CDC for the risk of introduction and transmission of COVID-19 in schools, and also Cass County's 14-day rolling average of COVID-19 cases.
Local parents remain frustrated and confused as school districts adjust to the latest COVID-19 numbers. One mom called our whistleblower hotline over her son having to quarantine after coming into contact with someone who tested positive.
Valley News Team's Kelly Hubbard asked about the apparent inconsistencies for online learning.
As a parent, this is definitely a struggle.
Shelly Bracken's two sons go to Lincoln Elementary in Fargo. The school called her last week saying her son Isaiah needed to quarantine for 14 days after coming into contact with someone who tested positive for COVID-19. She was frustrated when she was told her other son, Elijah, also Isaiah's roommate, were still able to go to school.
Immediately, my brain was like, what? I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Brackens looked into enrolling the boys in Virtual Academy, but said a request was denied because it wasn't a medical emergency. They say Virtual Academy is closed unless a family has a medical need and because of staffing needs and current enrollment level in the program.
I'm always going to put my boys before my job, before anything. I don't think any parent wouldn't.
Fargo Public Schools saying that if a student tests positive for COVID-19, a sibling would have to quarantine since they are close contact. In Bracken's situation, close contacts to close contacts do not have to quarantine. Brackens is one of the several parents left wondering what options they have if a similar situation arises, not only for their child's education, but quarantining and the likelihood of having to miss work.
I don't feel that what is happening is fair to the kids for their education, to us parents, to the city. This is a problem. I don't want to be a part of the problem.
In Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
We found out West Fargo Public Schools has the same guidelines on close contacts and distance learning options. Only new students enrolling in the district can do the virtual program. And if you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, call our whistleblower hotline and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. 237-6576. You can call and leave your tip, and then a member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth.
High school football and volleyball will be taking place in Minnesota this fall.
The president of the Minnesota State High School League Board of Directors passed a motion to begin games in a couple weeks. Alex Egan will have reaction from local coaches later in sports. After some chilly mornings dealing with frost, we have earned this nice summer-like weather, don't you think? Let's check in on this evening. Here's Hutch with your First Alert forecast. Hey, Hutch.
Hey, worth getting out and enjoying while we can because it's beautiful out there. Hardly any clouds showing up here in the Grand Forks area. As we take a look at temperatures, many of us are still near 80 degrees. Jamestown to Fargo, a few mid-70s now, including you in the Bemidji area. As we head into the evening, we do have a few clouds skirting the international border. That is it. It's been a little breezy out there, and those winds will continue to gust over 20 to 25 miles per hour until sunset. Then temperatures slip into the 60s and eventually 50s pretty quickly as our dry air will cool quickly. We do have some more warm weather to talk about. We'll have details on that. We'll also have a chance of some showers in the forecast. We'll tell you when and where the best chance will be here in just a couple of moments.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Hutch.
Police are asking for your help in finding a man who led them on a chase in Grand Forks. Officers tried to stop the man for reckless driving on 51st Street North. That was around 8 o'clock last night. Instead of stopping, he took off. The chase ended when the driver smashed his SUV into some trees by the Budget Inn Motel. That's located on Gateway Drive. And then he ran. Police have still not been able to find him. If you know where he is or know who he is, call Grand Forks Police. The phone number's on your screen, 701-787-8007.
The Grand Forks Police Department wants you to know about a high-risk sex offender living and working in the area. Cameron Henry Zahn now works at Arby's on 32nd Avenue South in Grand Forks. Earlier, police reported that Zahn lives in Manville, North Dakota, at 2463 17th Street Northeast. Zahn was convicted in February 2015 for a crime that took place in Morton County the year before. High-risk sex offenders are considered the most likely to reoffend. The last 3 weeks has brought 3 shooting cases, including 1 homicide on both sides of the river, yet there haven't been any arrests made, let alone any persons of interest named. And Fargo Police says while they understand why the community is on edge, both investigations left detectives starting from scratch.
What's hard about some of these incidents like this is that oftentimes once we get called, everybody's already kind of gone. And then when there's not witnesses or suspects or persons involved that are willing to cooperate with us, it makes it really hard for those investigators.
Fargo Police say they cannot comment on whether either incident is gang-related and says as of right now, it does not appear the 2 cases are related. We also reached out to Moorhead Police on their shooting case from over the weekend. They were not able to comment at this time.
A man's in jail tonight accused of threatening to shoot someone. Joshua Young was arrested yesterday in the 1800 block of 12th Street East in West Fargo. Police initially responded there to a domestic disturbance call. When Young was taken into custody, authorities also found a rifle. 18-year-old Taylor Lindsay of Grand Forks has been arrested after he reportedly assaulted his girlfriend multiple times for not having sex with him. Investigators say his girlfriend told them that Lindsay punched her and strangled her. They also say he strangled her almost every day and that at one point bashed her head into a wall. He was also charged with resisting arrest. Later on Valley News Live at 6 with fundraising, major events, a key part of their budget, how nonprofits are being impacted by COVID-19 guidelines.
Smoke-filled skies continue to produce some gorgeous sunrises and sunsets. Kimberly, thanks for your Moorhead photo. A lot of beautiful scenes across the valley and more gorgeous weather as we begin the first day of fall. I'll have the details this week's forecast next.